Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, welcome to your a year ahead 2020 tarot reading with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby and you've supported me throughout 2019, throughout 2018, 2017, 16, for those of you that have been with me from the beginning, my hardcore ride or dies, you guys know who you are, and I'm truly, truly humbled and truly grateful for all of your support. It really does mean the absolute world to me. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, if you'd like to book a personal FLP or PLR, past life regression or future life progression session with me, you can do so on the website address below. And as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So, with that said, we have a new decade, not just a new year, a brand new decade ahead of us. So let's have a look, see what 2020 will bring us. The first card out is the Wheel of Fortune. What a beautiful card to start the year off, right? So the first card out sets the tone, it sets the energy of the year, right? And the first card out for us is the Wheel of Fortune. This is about luck, it's about blessings, it's about abundance. Now, in the Rider-Waite deck, when you see the Wheel of Fortune, the big orange guy in the middle is Jupiter. So this is about blessings, it's about abundance, it's about the law, it's about what is right, it's about the law of karma, it's about, you know, the wheel, right? It basically says to you that what goes up must come down, what goes down can only go upward from there. And this really does feel for me like there will be a lot of synchronicities for us this year. There's going to be a lot of moments where things just seem to kind of pop out of the blue, that, you know, were seemingly pop out of the blue. I mean, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in synchronicities, and this is going to be a really powerful year for synchronicities. Now, the Wheel of Fortune in the month of January basically says that you will be getting some form of a reward. Whenever you see the Wheel of Fortune, I kind of feel this energy as it's a reward. It's like something that you've already put in the effort for. This is where you get the seeds of, or the fruits rather, of whatever seeds you have previously sown, right? So only you can really know what they are, and you can, you know, you tend to be able to tell by whatever it is that shows up for you. If it's a lesson, if it's a blessing, right? And that kind of is personal. So let's have a look at some context. Wow. All right, look at that. Oh, that's fantastic, right? We get the Sun card on top of the Wheel of Fortune. This is about big blessings. It's about big abundance. It's about starting the year off right. Now, for a lot of you, I know you'll watch this and you'll be like, you know, maybe you'll get to February and some of you will be like, well, where's my big blessing? How you start the year off, the energy that you start the year off with is always really powerful. You have the Wheel of Fortune and you have the Sun card. This is ultimate blessings. This is basically saying to you 2020 can be a year where you reach the stratosphere. If you haven't seen your Uranus into Taurus special that I did in 2018, go through the videos on my channel and go and check it out. I talked a lot about spontaneous moments that could shoot you into the stratosphere. 2020 appears to be one of them, and here in January, this is the time to buy your lotto ticket. It's the time to think about launching your business. Obviously, wait until we've had the eclipse, wait until we've had the big conjunction that happens on the 10th. But yeah, I mean, this bodes really very well, and especially for those of you that are ascendant Leos, the conjunction is taking place in your 6th house, which is all to do with your work. It's all to do with the service that you give to the world. You could really see a big blessing happen here in some way, shape or form, and January just sets the tone of the year. I mean, just look at that. The Sun card is blessings, it is abundance, it is light and life, so to speak, which I absolutely love. So let's have a look, see what February brings us. It brings us the Hermit, right? So this is about taking stock of everything that happens in January. It might be that you have a moment where you think to yourself, wow, like, you know, is this happening? It could be like a pinch me month, you know, you could have that in January. Whereas here in February, you're slowing things down. You're taking time to really ask yourself, what are the steps, right? I've got all of these blessings. I've got all these synchronicities that are going to shape up for me. But February with the Hermit card, you're asking yourself on a deep level, how do I proceed? For some of you, you might be asking yourself if you're proceeding with a partner or if you're proceeding as a single person. And the thing about the Hermit card is it always gives you, it asks you to withdraw, right? It asks you to take a moment, to take a step back, and like indifference to, say, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is kind of stop what you're doing, whereas the Hermit card is withdraw so that you can regroup, so that you can get more knowledge and information. And ultimately, it's the process of the Hermit that allows us to hear the High Priestess, right? So what that means is sometimes you have to go within. You have to make yourself still and quiet enough in order for your intuition to speak. All right, let's give it some context. You've got the Page of Cups. Page of Cups with the Hermit, right? This is all to do with what you're creating. It's all to do with your creativity. It's all to do with the things that you want to bring into the world, the things that you want to create in the world, the things that you want to create for your work. So, you know, this could be for work. It could also be, for personal projects. Very, very interesting, because with the Hermit card and the Page of Cups, right, these are kind of two halves of a whole. The Hermit card represents Virgo, and the Page of Cups is actually a very Piscean card. This is water and earth. This is a fruitful pairing, right? So February could very much be a month where a lot is going on behind the scenes. Yes, you've got this sort of out there, big month here in January, like with lots taking place and possibly even you being noticed as well. But in February, you're working on something behind the scenes. You're creating something. You're putting the finishing touches, or well, not even the finishing touches, like you're really doing the work to create something here in February, which is fantastic. All right, so March. We've got the Lovers card, right? So making some big decisions here in March. And the thing with the Lovers card is, yes, it represents love. Yes, it represents relationships. I said for some of you here in February, you might be asking yourself about a partnership. That's definitely a process, because one of the other things with the Page of Cups, it sees you observing your emotions, how you really feel. Whereas here in March, you're making a decision, right? This is about you choosing between maybe several options that you have, and that's one of the taglines for the Lovers card, choosing between this and that, them and, it and them, they and that, them and me, it's the process that you go through of making the decision. To give it some context, we've got the Ten of Swords. So here, February and March could see a relationship come to an end. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be your personal relationship. It can be a professional one, because we've got a lot of professional energy here, especially with a project that you're working on. Now, interestingly enough, because you've got this happening here in March, now for a select few of you, this will be about you choosing no longer to do something. So it might be something that you've worked on for a while, and then here in March you say to yourself, actually, you know what, I'm not making the headway or the progress that I would like to have made with this, and so therefore you say to yourself, this is it, this is where I kind of let it go and say, you know what, I did my best, I tried, but it's not for me. For some of you, this is going to be about a relationship, like an actual partnership. And again, partnerships don't always have to mean your significant other. Sometimes partnership is what you have with your work, sometimes what you have with a boss, sometimes what you have with somebody that you collaborate with. So let's have a look at April. We've got the World card, right? This is where you step up. The World card always brings you mastery of some sort. Whenever I see the World card, I love this card because it does suggest that you have done enough. You have given enough. You have demonstrated the level of commitment and skill in order to achieve the next level, right? So April, you're taking a step up, and look at that. I mean, interestingly enough, sometimes cutting your losses, sometimes admitting your defeats is a mark of power. It's a mark of strength, a mark of a true leader. You know, so very, very interesting. Let's give it some context and see what it comes up with. And we get the Knight of Swords, right? So this is interesting because your Knight of Swords, yes, it's fast, aggressive communication. Sometimes it's debate. Sometimes it can be arguments. But the fact that it falls on the World card, this really feels for me like this month, in the month of April, Leo, you're standing your ground, right? There's something that you are defending or something that you're standing for. Now, a lot of people say when you see the Knight of Swords, sometimes it's fast communication or rushing into too headstrong, right? I don't actually feel that. I feel like here in April, what this actually comes across as is you are standing your ground for something and you're saying, you know what, I will fight for this. I'm willing to stand my ground. And because it comes through the guise of the World card, it does suggest that this may be a clash that you have with an authority figure. It may be that in some way, shape or form, you know, maybe somebody will question you and say, do you think it's that you've put this thing down premature? Or maybe somebody will say to you, I think you've quit too early. But here in April, it feels for me like you are dealing with the facts. You're standing your ground and you're saying, you know what, this is where I stand and I will not be budged from here. And the saying that actually comes to mind is, I think it was Archimedes, and he said, give me one, and I love this saying because it's so powerful. Give me one firm spot on which to stand and I shall move the earth. Like I just got goosebumps as I said it as well. You know, it's really powerful, and April is that energy for you. Whatever it is that somebody tries to bring against you, whatever it is that somebody tries to, you know, question you with or whatever, it won't be enough. They just won't budge you. You're really, really powerful here in April. So woe betide anybody that tries to off-foot you in that respect. May, you get the Empress, right? In fact, this is beautiful energy because you get the Empress card represents Taurus, right? Sometimes it can, very rarely can it be Libra, rarely. But it's a beautiful card, and I love this because it is blessings, it's abundance, it's all of those things, but it's also harmony and diplomacy and ease. Whenever you see the Empress card, she is Venus, so she gives that kind of calming, soothing energy to things. And because she represents the sign of Taurus, and it's, you know, you've pulled this card in May, this really does suggest that you're tapping into that Taurian energy, which is fantastic for Leos, because Taurus is currently in your career zone, especially if you're an ascendant Leo, especially. Uranus is in Taurus at the moment, which is your midheaven, right? This is all to do with your career. Obviously, look at where it is in your chart, but in some way, shape or form, May sees you tapping into that energy, working with it rather than against it, or working with it rather than saying like, oh, you know, this Uranus transit is kicking my butt. It's like you're taking that energy and saying, yeah, you know what, I can work with this, and I'm going to make it work for me as long as I work alongside it. So let's give it some context. Let's see what the direction card is for it. And it is the Moon. Now, this is the second time that you have an Earth-Water pairing. Why do I say that? The Moon card represents Pisces as a sign, right? So you've got Pisces and Taurus here. Now, the Moon card is your past, right? It is your collective past. It's your personal past. It can be sometimes your own fears, the things that you know, echoes of the past. And sometimes it can be about where the rose-tinted glasses come off. Now, the fact that you've got this with the Empress here in May, it does mean that you are laying to rest some aspect of your past. You're able to transcend it, some old fear, some old baggage that may have in some way held you back. Where, you know, maybe it's the story that you tell yourself about money, that you tell yourself about resources. Oh, I'm never going to have enough money, or, you know, oh, my family were this, so I'm not going to be able to have that. Or, you know, I was told that I wouldn't amount to anything. I was told that loads of times. And that is definitely not the case. So I'm telling you, it's not the case for you as well, right? But this could see you really letting go of that, finding this healing, soothing energy coming into something about your past, and you kind of saying, wow, you know what, I've come out the other side of it. And actually, that is not the case. This could see you really letting go of some past fear in a really powerful way. You know, and it looks like there's a blessing coming here as well. You know, there could be something coming back from your past that ends up being a blessing, you know, which is beautiful. Ooh. Okay, so your card for June, as we reach the midpoint of the year and the summer solstice, you have the Fool card. New things, new places, new people, new energy. Whenever you see the Fool card, it brings you a moment that changes things for the better. It usually brings you a moment that completely shifts your perspective or your understanding. Sometimes it's a person. Very often, if you see the Fool card with a Court card, you know that this is a new person that's about to enter your life, and they're going to change your life in some big way. I love this, right? Because it suggests that in June you are tapping into this new energy, this, you know, where the sun is at its peak at the summer solstice. This is about you utilizing the energies around you and in your life to make a new life for yourself. This is about you tapping into that spirit of creativity, but also, you know, what it is that you want to create, and understanding that you can create anything you choose. Let's give it some context or define it. Here we go. You're looking for a fire sign male, right? So this would be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. For a lot of you, this could be you, right? And it's interesting because, you know, there are two types of Leos. I think there's two types of every sign. You know, there's the really gregarious ones who, you know, they're loud and proud and they don't mind being seen. And then you get what I call the silent dignities. You know, you get the other side of Leo, who they like to be seen, they like to be respected, they like to be liked, but they're not so overt about it. They're not so gregarious, you know, but they still have those traits of Leo underlying. So this could be an aspect of self, right? Whether you're a sun, moon, or ascendant Leo. And what this is effectively saying is you yourself are being reborn. This is about you coming into a new era of yourself. This is about you coming into a new era of being seen. It's about you possibly being thrust into the limelight in some way, shape or form. January could see that. June could see that. Again, if you haven't seen that Uranus into Taurus special, please check it out, because there's so much in it that I can't put in this video just for time, right? But for all of us, in some way, shape or form, you're looking out for a fire sign male, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. This is going to be somebody that comes into your life sometimes, and it happens like this with the Fool card, because it is that elusive sort of evolutionary changing energy, right? But sometimes it can literally just be a conversation that you have with somebody. You never see them again, but the conversation leaves you changed, right? It sees your outlook and your understanding of something completely different, or changed by what it is that you that you've discussed, and what it is that you understand from that, and how you then assimilate it goes on to change everything about your life. Now, because you've got the Moon card and the Empress here, and they represent fixed, well, certainly the Empress represents fixity in that respect, right? But this, for me, I kind of feel like this person's going to be around for a while. I don't feel like this is going to be just a, you know, just the usual Fool type energy. I feel like they will be around for a while. And then aside from all of that, June is just a really great month to have fun, to really just enjoy life, okay? Just let loose, be silly, laugh, dance, have fun. July, you get the Judgment card, right? So this is where something is laid to rest. This is where something is, and usually the thing with the Judgment card, because it represents Pluto, it brings things up from the deep. Sometimes it can be an ex, you know, yeah. Sometimes it can be an ex. Sometimes it can be you know, a past personal pattern. Sometimes it can be that as well. Sometimes it can be the what's the word? Sometimes it can be the dregs of the past, right? It always represents something coming up to be looked at, to be assimilated so that it can be finally released. And July looks like a big month for a release. I'm going to have a look at the astrology to see, because July seems to be a challenging month for pretty much every single sign. So I'm really intrigued to see what it is that comes up in the summer of 2020. Let's give it some context. It comes up with the Queen of Swords, right? So this may be, it doesn't have to be legal, but it could be something, something that you've dealt with before, something that you've had to deal with in your past, something that you have, because the Queen of Swords can sometimes represent legal matters. Because she's ruled by Libra, she's ruled by the Justice card, right? The Queen of Swords would be an air sign female. She would usually be a Gemini, an Aquarius, or a Libra. And the thing with the Queen of Swords is she is very, very tough. She's got a mouth like a sewer, heart full of gold, but she will go to war for something. She will fight for something tooth and nail, right? She's very, very... in some ways, I mean, this could be somebody from your past that refuses to let sleeping dogs lie, and it could be about a really old issue, and you just think to yourself, like, really, you're bringing this up now? Like, why is this even relevant? You know, and it's interesting because you could probably feel the stirrings of this around May. It might be that you are dealing with the emotions and the feelings of whatever this thing is in May, and then magically in July this person pops up, to talk about the event or whatever it is, and by which time you've already taken the emotion out of it, and because you've done so, that puts you in a much more powerful position than if it were just sprung on you. So be aware of that. All right, August. You've got the Emperor card, beautiful energy. Happy birthday to you if you are celebrating your birthday here in August, and for those of you in July as well. So little footnote for your solar return, when the sun comes back to your sign, one of the things that you really want to do is fill your day with a little bit of everything that you want your year to have in it. So go out for dinner, go and see friends, go and see family, do something nice, go to a spa, eat good food, eat good wine, listen to music, dance, laugh, fill your solar return day with everything that you want your whole 2020 and 2021 year to be filled with, right? So whatever you want the next 12 months to have in it, make sure you fill the day with it as well. All right, so the Emperor here in August basically sees you coming into your own authority. Now, it might, right? I got to be honest. It might see a culmination. Whatever battle you are having here in July, it may culminate in August with something very official. It might be that something spills over and ends up having to take a legal slant because you're not able to settle it on a personal level. Now, I mean, the thing with the Emperor card as well is it sees you becoming an authority. It sees you kind of really standing your ground in some way, shape or form. It sees you not taking any crap from anyone, basically, but it also can represent legal professionals. It can be lawyers, doctors, anybody of that nature. Let's give it some context. It's the Nine of Swords. Yeah, so it could be that you are really having a challenging time with this person, and it really is. I mean, I got to be honest with you, I don't feel like it will come to much because you've got the Judgment card there, which means once it's done, it will be done. The fact that you've got the Emperor card there means that you're standing your ground and not backing down, which is good. But then you've got the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords it's worry, frustration, and sometimes it's where we hype things up so much in our minds that do you know what I mean? Like it kind of runs away with it. So I'm going to pull another card as well because I want to get to the bottom of this. This is where it ends, right? So whatever it is that happens or starts in July, it will spill over into August. Summer looks like it's going to be a difficult summer for all of us. I don't know why. I'm really going to have to look at the astrology and do some meditation on it. But the summer of 2020 looks like it's going to be challenging for everyone. So then your 10 of Wands, right? This is about letting go of a burden. This is where you release something and say, right, okay, you know what? Now it is done. Now I'm ready, willing and able to move past it. So like I said, whatever starts in July, it will carry over to August, but once it's done and it ends here in August. So September, we get the Chariot card, victory, success, moving on, right? Moving on from the summer, coming into the last quarter or the last third of the year, powerful, strong, and changed in some way for the better. The thing with the Chariot card is it always sees us utilizing our personal willpower to the best and brightest and our highest ability. For some of you, for a select few of you that are in that situation, you may well think, I mean, for those of you that are doing degrees, those of you that are doing studies, August may see you have a derailing of your studies of some sort. Something might go a bit awry. You might think to yourself, oh, holy crap, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, or, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish. September, you get the Chariot card, you'll finish. And you will be successful. You will be able to complete whatever course of study. So that is specifically for those of you that are studying and you know, doing anything of an academic nature. So your Chariot card and its context is the Empress. You've got the Empress right underneath the Empress. I really like that. All right, so September looks like a great month. September can be a very fertile month for you as well. Probably the most fertile month of the year. So if you're looking to conceive, September is going to be your best bet. So that's going to be your best. Well, September and January actually are probably going to be your best months. You know, for a select few, actually, this could be where you're giving birth. For those of you that are, you know, because you've definitely got that potential there with January. So it could be, yeah, this is where it's culminating. But on another level, the Empress and the Chariot card, again, you've got this Cancerian and Taurian sort of energy, this beautiful Venusian energy. Again, this is water and earth. You've got a lot of these pairings going on. In fact, I think it's probably your most prominent match this year is earth and water, which means growth. Whenever you get water and earth together, providing you don't, you know, put too much water in and end up with just a big slosh of mud, you can create a lot of growth. This could be a lot of internal personal growth, right? A lot of financial growth is possible in September as well, providing you're able to stay on top of your spending. All right, it might be a month where passions are high and you're just like, you know what, after all the crap that I've been through in the summer, I'm just going to enjoy myself. You know, smash it on the credit card. Don't do it, right? You find utilize a better way. All right, find ways to be more connected to yourself. Also, if you're looking to purchase a big ticket item, your best months are January after the conjunction and the eclipse. September looks like a good month, especially for purchasing a car. All right, October, you've got the Strength card. So this is our card as Leos. The Strength card rules the sign of Leo, and this sees you really digging deep. This really now sees you kind of winding down the year, closing down the year, and saying to yourself, right, not only do I want to know where I've been and what I've experienced over the course of this year, I also now really want to start putting, you know, not putting my strength, because that sounds like you're then just throwing your weight about it, and it's not that. It's more a case of, excuse me, energy shift. All right. With your Strength card, this really is about you delving into your heart of hearts to ask yourself, right, okay, what am I about now? What is it that, you know, because you've kicked off this whole year and it's a powerful year for you. Lots of, you know, really good insight, lots of really great movement, lots of interesting people coming in, lots of spontaneity, which I really like. You know, I mean, maybe I'm the only one, but October will see you reflecting, and it will see you reflecting deeply on who you've become in relation to the events and the stuff that you've had to go through and the stuff that you've had to deal with. Okay, so I'm going to take those two because they both seem to want out. So you've got the 8 of Swords and you've got the 7 of Swords, right? So look at that. The strength card is number 8, then you've got that 8 of swords. This is about you asking yourself what the long-term plans are. Then with the 7 of swords, this is not a month for you to share any of your business ideas with anybody. This is not a month for you to, in fact, don't share anything with anyone. October is a month for you to really be very careful about 2 things. One in particular is the lies that you tell yourself. It's really a month where you need to be very, very aware of how you can self-sabotage. And it's also a month where you probably won't want to share too much of what you're doing with anybody. You know, obviously with your own closest, but outside of that, no. Especially when it comes to business ideas, especially when it comes to money or finance. The 7 of Swords is probably my least favourite card in the whole deck. And I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, but there are worse cards than that. All right, November, we get the Hanged Man, right? So this is taking a beat. This is taking a moment. Interestingly enough, you might be privy to some sort of information in October about somebody that you thought was a lot closer to you than actually is. And that person could be revealed in October. November could see you asking yourself, what are you going to do about it? The Hanged Man, reassessment, reevaluation. This, I feel, is going to be you looking at your social circle. It might see you looking at the people that you work with. It may see you looking at anybody that you associate with in a professional sense. It could see you really looking at those people and asking yourself, right, okay, what do I need to know about them? Right, there's going to be a grand reveal there of some sort. All right, and then you've got the Queen of Wands. So this card actually represents Leo, right? But it is a Leo female, a fire sign woman, right? So she would be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. And the fact that she falls with the Hanged Man, this could be somebody that is a spiritual mentor, somebody that assists your spiritual growth, somebody that is, you know, somebody that you turn to in your time of need or in a difficult period. October looks like you probably October, July, and maybe October, July, and August look like your real challenge months. That's where you're having some difficulty. I have to call it how I see it. In November, you could find somebody, align with somebody, work with somebody, you know, that really has that. Whoever she is, she's very powerful. She is a healer. She might not even be a healer per se or as a title, but she is a healer just by being who she is. She has that kind of energy. She's very powerful, very self-assured, somebody that you can absolutely trust and turn to in your hour of need. And this person becomes a mentor for you. This is somebody that is teaching you, and it's somebody that is spiritual in nature. Even if they're not necessarily one to talk about it overtly, this is somebody that really has your back, has a very spiritual outlook on life, and this is somebody that you will find shelter in, somebody that you will find, you know, they put that wing around you. Like, this is whoever this person is, they're an earth angel. All right, December, the sun. All right, brilliant. So as the year starts, so it shall conclude. So even in the moments where things get challenging this year, and it may very well happen, right? Like I said, July, August and October are your challenge months, but even out of all of that, look at what you get. In December, you finish with the sun and you've got the 9 of Wands, right? Now, interestingly enough, the 9 of Wands, I always say to people when I see this, you must speak up. Don't sit on your feelings. Don't hold them inside. It's not the time. Excuse me. It's not the time for you to bite your tongue. You've got to say how you feel, and you've got to say how you feel, and you've got to be open and, you know, upfront about it. And the fact that it falls on the sun as well means that you are heard. Like, you will have your moment to speak. So if in July, August and October you feel like you've been done a real injustice, don't fret too much, because December will give you your time to speak. December will be that moment where you get to say what it is that you feel you need to say. And finally, last card for that, because I want to get some more information, is the Star card, right? Which is hope, optimism, joy, and it always suggests as well. So it looks like October may very well be a bit of a tower moment. July, August, October, consider those sort of tower-ish type months, with October probably being the worst. And then here in December, November, like I said, you'll find shelter in somebody. They will really, really assist you in a big way, and you yourself will tap into your innate spirituality, which is brilliant. And then finally, with your Star card there, that is a glimpse into your future. Whatever you're starting and completing here in December, you finish the year powerfully. And you will have your moment to speak. You might even get a bigger moment to speak than anybody that tried to rise against you. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, your key to the year. Let's have a look, see. The Magician, right? So you are the master of your own fate. You have the ability to change anything that should rise up against you. The thing about the Magician card is, as well, yes, it represents Mercury, which is a neutral planet. Yes, it represents speaking, communion. It represents you reaching the height of your game. So there's something that we should probably address here. Whenever you rise up through the ranks and you reach some of the top spots or a top spot, you will always have haters. You will always have people try to drag you down. You will always have people, I guess that's one of the things they say, isn't it? The mark of success is how many haters you have. It's not necessarily about how many people are there building you up and saying, oh, aren't you wonderful? Because with that, it comes with the sours, right? The Magician card as your key to the year. The other thing that people don't necessarily know about magicians is they know how to protect themselves. They know how to defend themselves should the need arise. And also, they are masters of their own fate. They understand that they have the ability to transform, transmute, and transcend any energy that is sent their way. Right? So your Magician card as the key to the year basically says, what do you want to make this year? What do you want to create this year? What do you want to be known for, seen as? And ultimately, when your challenges show up, are you going to back down? I can't imagine that you are, but All right, Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic year. Check in month by month, every 3 months, every 4 months, at the end of the year to see if it resonates. Please let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. And also, I'm really, really intrigued about July. So I'd like to see how July hits for each sign, because it seems to be a challenging month across the board. All right, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.